tell me the story of how you came to discover Sikhism?
Um, Actually, at my age, when I was admitted to a Khalsa school, and that was the very new school at my age, my parents decided to send me to the Khalsa school because in government school the seats were not available. So when I went to the Khalsa school, I saw the new knowledge that was totally new according to my family, because my family background was totally involved in Hinduism and their rituals. And my father was very strong in believing the caste system, and he was very tough to believe strongly toward the caste. Even sometimes he did not allow me to talk with the lower caste people. But I had a friend who was sitting with me in the school, and he belonged to the low caste. And at that time I have a different experiment, and that experiment was totally fitting to the Sikh philosophy. So due to I love to keep that philosophy in my life, because I believed in my teacher, whatever he was teaching me, I trusted him, I obeyed him, and then I did not care what my parents believed. So in that sense, there was conflict between my family and myself. But as it continued, I became stronger and stronger because I studied more and more Sikhism, and in that sense, really I became, in my words, I can say I became a Sikh, but I cannot say that I am really strong as Sikh. But I am a Sikh who just believes in Guruji's authority. He kept me alive and he kept me strong. And still I am strong with his grace.
Okay, can you tell me, how Sikhism, or how being a Sikh affects your life?
Being a Sikh, I got more freedom. I became more moderate, and whatever I was thinking and believing, I first of all compared the science also, because I was a science student. In that sense, I compared Gurbani with the science, and due to that, I was thinking that Guru Nanak Dev Ji in modern age, whatever he spoke the truth. He did not mess anything. Whatever he knew, he said. Whatever he did not know, he said, I don't know. Just like he said, who created, how this world was created, how this universe was created, Guru Nanak Dev Ji did not mess up at all. He said, only he knew, he knows who created. Because nobody was the witness at the time of creation. Whoever told the creation of this universe, they are just only their imaginary stories, but they are not true story. Because the true story is who created, he knows. In that sense, wherever I went, whatever I thought, it was all based upon the scriptures of my Gurbani, of Guruji's teachings, and it made me so much perfect. So that's why I worship those scriptures, not worshipping like I do worship them. I worship in my heart because I follow them. That's the main reason.
Okay, so um, tell me about the scriptures. Like, tell me how they came about.
Um, the way of preaching of Guru Nanak was amazing, interesting. It was a unique system of doing preaching. How he started his preaching? He um, he just had one companion, and that companion was a musician, and he was a Muslim. So he became the friend of Guru Nanak. So he was playing a musical instrument, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji starts to utter the hymns from his Holy Spirit. And when Guru Nanak Dev Ji was singing, and one of his companion Muslims, he was playing the music, and it became so uh, so nice that when the people were listening to the music and the words of the hymns which Guru Nanak Dev Ji uttered from his Holy Spirit, it became a miracle among the minds of the people. So that message penetrated the minds of the people, and the people were so much attracted to Guru Nanak to listen to music as well as the hymns. And those hymns worked actually at the time of Guru Nanak. It's just like a miracle to change the minds of the people, because the hymns had so much spiritual power, and due to that power, the most of the people who came to listen to Guru Nanak, they became his devotees, and they were feeling peace of mind. And in that sense, Gurbani is actually a counselor of your mind. And when you chant the Gurbani, it gives you the message which your mind needs to follow and to change your attitude. Because human mind has traveled from so many forms of the animals' forms, and due to that, your mind has the animal attitude, even in the human form. And the purpose of our life is to change it. And to change your animal attitude, it's not an easy job. It needs some power. And that power only we can get from a spiritual power person. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as I believe, had the superpower, spiritual power, from whose spirit this Gurbani came out in this world, and whoever listened to that Gurbani, ultimately with the power of Guru Nanak and his words, the people were feeling their attitude was being changed. Because
Can you tell me how, what do you do in your life that how can I word this? Basically, what I want to know is, how do you follow your faith? How do you live your life as a Sikh, as pure as possible? Like, obviously, you're trying to live up to the Guru's standards, right? And I want to know about you personally. What do you do in your life that is follows the faith?
first of all, we should know the basic foundation of the human life. Because human life contains mind, human life contains body and soul, and this mind is surrounded by desires, and those desires are also the creation of God, and those desires are related to ego, and ego also the creation of God, to keep the human mind busy and to fight. And the idea of fight is to become strong, because if you want to be a good wrestler, you have to go to the wrestling match, and wrestling match is very interesting. It makes you very strong. So the life is a wrestling match. The mind is fighting with ego, and all because ego is the commander of five desires. And those five desires are the lust, anger, greed, and attachment, and pride. And these five desires are the need of human mind. We need them. We need the lust to have our next generation. We need it. But lust is a power and energy. It has to be kept under control. When it becomes out of control, then the human mind acts even worse than animals. Even sometimes he does not care about the society, about the social life, social system. So our mind has to live in bounds.
Immediately, anytime you're ready.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Okay. So can you start again?
Okay, the first of all, I want to introduce the human life, and human life contains mind, body, soul, and the life, and these are all four gifts given by God to operate your life in this world, and we have been given a golden chance, which we will never get it again in this form. So the purpose of life is to merge with Almighty Vaheguru. And to merge with Almighty God, we have to cross the mountain of ego. And ego is standing in between our mind and the soul. And the ego is the commander of five desires. And those five desires are lust, anger, greed, attachment, and proud. And we have to cross this wall to reach the final goal, which is the merging our mind with the soul. So in that sense, to cross this distance, we need the help. And that help you can get from the spiritual knowledge. And Gurbani in my life is my best guide. And I got the guidance from Gurbani. I know that I'm not perfect at that level where Guruji has mentioned, because Guruji told us that you can reach my level. My level and your level, there's no difference. You have the capability to do that. But because I was born as a human being, everybody, we are in human form, but still our attitude is animal attitude, because we have crossed so many different forms in our previous birth, and every human mind has the animal attitude. Some are more, some are less. And to change the animal attitude to the human attitude, there is a first step. And from that human attitude, we have to reach the God's attitude. Gurbani explains what is the God's attitude. You have to become God-like. So for that, I can say traveling, or I can say during that travel, I need some help. My mind is also traveling. In this journey, we need some guidance. We need some map. We need some vehicle. And that vehicle also, it should be perfect in each respect. It needs brakes, it needs tire, it needs light, it needs steering. Religion is just like a vehicle through which you can travel through this journey. So what I experienced in my life, I got anger from my father genes. It was very dangerous in attitude, my own attitude. I was very proudy person at the beginning. I was also greedy, but not much. I had also lust in my mind, but that lust was not out of control, but sometimes it was. So I was thinking, this is my pride. And I was very proud of my anger, and I abused it sometimes. But finally, when I approached Gurbani, then I found they are not your friends. They are your enemies. They are your slaves. They are not your boss. Make them slaves. When you make them slaves, they will act like your servants. So you must have the control and live in the boundary which Guruji told us to stay within that boundary so that I can be safe. So then, how I can do it? That's another question. Guruji mentioned in each page of scriptures, do the meditation, do the meditation, do the meditation. And what the meditation gave us, Guru told us. First of all, the meditation will act as a controller of your mind. That means the first thing will happen, my mind will start to concentrate. After the concentration, I will feel myself that I am not body, but I am the soul. In that sense, whenever I practiced, because I was a ritualistic Sikh, I was just like a ceremonial Sikh, and I did so many ceremonies, but still I did not get the peace of mind. I could not get true happiness. I could not get complete bliss, which Guruji mentioned in his scriptures. Because he said that your mind is just like an ocean. And at the top of the ocean there are tides. There is too much noise. But as you go deeper and deeper and deeper in the ocean, you will find the peaceful place. So the same mind at the upper level, it is noisy. But go to the deep inside, then you will feel a peaceful place. And also Guruji mentioned that this mind is just like a boat. If you drive this boat carefully, you can cross the ocean. But if you become careful, then you will be then the boat will sink and you will be drowned. Now, mind is your personality. It is your own choice. You can make your mind to take it to heaven. You can make your mind heavenly. You can live in this world in hell. But it is everything is in your hands. Do it and be encouraged. And what I did when I came in this country, then I started actually the real way of Sikh way of life. Then I started to do the practice. Then I started to do the meditation. And during those meditation, I had very good experience of my life. Then I felt myself, I'm not only a Sikh, but I am a human being, and the soul is actually holding me. And that my soul is my real guide. And I can guide my mind through this soul with the help of Guruji's therapy. The Gurbani is my therapy, through which I can get the treatment, I can get the guidance, I can get the counseling. So I saw my development in my mind for last about 10 and 15 years. And now when I teach the people, I do not teach as a Sikh, but I teach as a human being, turned me into a real person with the grace of my Guru. That's my feeling at this time, and I want to share this knowledge, this experience to the people also who are the customer of this, I can say, this inventory. This inventory is beautiful, but I want to make the people customer to take it without any price. And only the price which you have to pay yourself, surrender yourself to this authority, which will make your life beautiful. That's my understanding.
Wow. Wow. Gurbani, is that the scriptures?
Yeah.
Okay, Guru Gurbani. Okay, thank you. Tell me how young people seem to be very interested in. Can you talk about the young people? Like, it seems like maybe at one time, as people were coming to Canada, immigrating to Canada, young people seem to turn away from their parents and want to become Canadianized, but now seem to be going back to and have a renewed interest in coming back to Sikhism. Can you talk about that?
This question is very interesting. When the people migrated from not only India, even from European countries, even from other Asian countries, they came only in this country to make themselves rich financially. Because you cannot say that only that Punjabi or Sikh people, they came here for the money. For the better life, all the people, they migrated from other countries. Otherwise, why they did not stay in their own country? So the main goal of the human being is, for last 50 years, was materialistic. And for those materialistic needs, wherever they could find a place, they migrated, they moved. And still they are moving, because there is no satisfaction. And the same way the Punjabi and the Sikh people came in this country, because this country, they felt it's a very beautiful country, they came here. But the purpose of migrating in this country was nothing but better life economically. So they were thinking, when we will have money, everything will be solved. So they worked hard, day and night, double shift. They got money, bank balance, they got nice houses, they got nice cars, and they brought their families here. Now the question is, when you have all your desires fulfilled materialistically, what will happen next? Because the people made the money, they are very rich, they are hardworking. But now the question is, can this money solve all your problems? Are you happy after you are after you got everything? The people, parents were very busy in working hard day and night, and they had no time to have the talk with their even children. I cannot say that they are more becoming Canadianized, because the Canadian society is also believing that we should live together. Because the good parents still, they want their children must listen to them, must obey them. I cannot say the Canadian society is teaching us. But the Anglo-Saxon system is the system which we call individualism, or otherwise selfishness. Because Anglo-Saxon system had the influence in the whole world society. Because they taught us to be selfish. I am, and mine. This thing is being taught in the society as a whole, even in the school system. In that sense, even the definition of family has been ruined. Because the wife says, this is my account. Husband says, this is my account. They do not trust each other because they have become individual. Ultimately, the attitude of the parents will affect their children, because we are born from the genes of the parents. Due to that, children became also more and more selfish. They say, this is my room, this is my bed, this is my bike, this is my house, this is my car. My father cannot touch it, my brother cannot touch it. That means we became individual and selfish in the whole society. And Punjabi people could not be spared from this virus. We are also living in the same environment. Due to that, what happened? That the parents became individual and the children became individual, separate from the parents. Because the children only wanted to live with their parents or obey them because they need the parents, they need the money. When they have some self-interest, they are close to the parents. When the interest is gone, they are gone. So that means only you love with the people due to some needs. And the love, the definition of love is not based upon needs. Because it should be unconditional love. Mother's and son's love is unconditional. It should be unconditional. So in that sense, at the beginning, the parents and the children became away from each other. Even religiously, our next generation, they did not want to adopt the Sikhism. They were also becoming more westernized. I can say westernized. But Western society is not bad. I cannot say bad. But they were changing their style. They were thinking that the Western society is perfect. But it is only just like a marriage effect. It looks perfect from the distance. But when you go close to that, then you feel the Western society is also bankrupt at this time. But we have adopted those holes which are already in the Western society. We adopted those ideas. Joint family system was broken. So when there was a collapse between families and their children, and children were not obedient, our parents were feeling, oh my God, why I came in this country? Why I worked so hard? Because our children, they don't care about us. After that, there were some feelings, how we can handle this situation. But after 1984, when Golden Temple was attacked by the Army of India, by Indira Gandhi, that was a dark day in the history of world, in the history of India. Whatever the government took that step, it was hurting. But it became I can say, a cure for our community. Our hearts were so much burned, we were awakened, we were shocked, everybody was shocked whether he was following Sikhism or not. After that attack, our younger generation started to think why the Indian government attacked the Golden Temple. And it became a big news in the universe, in the all over the world. What is the Golden Temple? Where it is? Who are these people? Because we were just called as Hindus before the Golden Temple was attacked. But after that, even the Western society or Caucasian people, they knew, oh no, these are not Hindus. These are the Sikhs. And who are they? Then they started to think about that. We took the advantage of that attack because everybody has feelings in their mind. So that helped us to change our next generation, which we can see now. I have seen better Sikhs in Canadian society rather than in India right now. We have good students who are well educated, who are more aware of the Sikhism rather than in Punjab. So that is the main reason how the people are now coming back. And now the parents are also thinking that money is not everything. Now they think that we need the spiritual guidance, we need our children, that they should be guided in the right way so that we should be proud of them and they should become the good citizen of this world, including Canadian society. So that was the main reason I experienced in my life.
Oh, wow. So 1984 was a very big turning point for us.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And you feel there are maybe better education here than in Punjab for like in general, or is it just in Sikh studies?
No, okay. First of all, the Punjab state or province in India is discriminated by the federal government. Why it is so? Since we got the independence of India, and as far your knowledge, as far your information, for the independence of India from the British Empire, the Sikh people actually started the movement of freedom from Punjab. And it was a peaceful movement, and that peaceful movement even better than Mahatma Gandhi. And that peaceful movement was started by the Sikhs to raise the voice against the slavery. And the Sikhs never sat silent. They continued to protest against any kind of cruelty by the British Empire. And the Sikhs, they became awake, and they were raising voice against British Empire. Even from Canadian society, soil, the people went to India to get the freedom. Kamagata Mariship and some other revolutionary leader went to India to get the freedom. So, the total people who were martyred by the British Empire, who were demanding the freedom, they were 94% were the Sikhs who demanded the freedom. And we fought for the whole country as my own country, our country, as India is my country. We fought for the country, the whole freedom. And we joined with the Hindus and Muslims shoulder to shoulder to fight. And we did that. We had only one promise from Mahatma Gandhi, that when we will get the freedom, we will get the equal rights, equal share. And we believed in that leadership. But what happened? When, suppose we are two brothers, and we are working hard day and night to build a house, to make a house. And I contribute equally or more than that because I trusted my brother. But when the house was complete, I was going to enter that house. What happened? My brother said, elder brother said, sorry, you cannot enter this house. I said, why? Because he said, this house is in my name. This is my house. I said, how? He showed me the papers. The registration was in his house. Then he said, if you want to live in this house, you have to pay the rent. You are not the owner anymore. Same thing was happened with us. We worked hard, we fought, but when the independence was given by the British Empire, then we were told by the federal government, this is a Hindu state. And if you want to live in this country, you have to live in our way of life, which was not acceptable to our leadership. Due to that, this dispute actually originated. We were labeled as criminal people, even in the confidential letters sent by the central government, federal government. And even we have not been recognized the Sikh religion as a separate religion. And if you go back to history, the Hinduism has the power to assimilate another religion. Buddhism was totally assimilated. Jainism was also totally assimilated. Only the Sikhism became the target to how to assimilate. Then they passed an act which is called Hindu Code Bill and Hindu Marriage Act. Even when we get married in India, we have to register our marriage in the Hindu Marriage Act. We don't have any Sikh Marriage Act, but the Muslims they have. So due to that, I tell you, we Sikh, still we are fighting for our own independence, even in Indian society. So in Punjab, it is ignored by the federal government. Financially, industries, they are not provided any industry. Even Punjab state at this time does not have international airport, while all states they have. Even they did not give us the permission to sell our product, which is farming product, with our own. Because we just grew up, but the federal government fixed the price. Whatever the price the federal government will fix, we have to sell it. So that means it is in their hands whether they can make us poor or make us rich. Due to this economical condition, the Sikhs are interested to leave the province. That's why they are migrating to the different countries, because they don't want to stay. That is the plan of the federal government. The Sikhs should be in minority in Punjab state, so that we can grab it and declare it that Sikhs are not going to rule even Punjab state. And Punjab state is also behind in education, because the standard of education is the lowest in Punjab state. So in this country, we are so much lucky that when we came in this country, we have the best opportunity, and we have opportunity without any discrimination of education. My own sons, they could get education in this country only because, first of all, the government is supporting the financially or the student if I don't have the money, but it's not provided in India. So that is the one thing, that the students of this country, they have also an opportunity to talk with the other faith groups in the university. You can talk with a Muslim, you can talk with a Buddhist, you can talk with a Christian, and they exchange their own views, but we don't have this kind of opportunity in India. Because I never visited any Hindu temple in India when I became a Sikh. Even I did not have any opportunity to visit a church. But over in this country, I went to churches, to the Buddhist temple, to the Hindu temple, to the Muslim mosque, and I had a chance to talk with those people, and we share the good things from each of them, and we enjoy it. But we did not have this opportunity in that country. The same thing, our children are enjoying this kind of freedom in this country, which is really interesting and beautiful. So that's why the children are now more interested to search about Sikhism, so that they can compare. Though they can compare and share with the other students also. That's why the children are very excited about that.
Fantastic. Holy cow. I think somebody's trying to get in. Can you, okay, now, talk to me about Vasakhi and what it means to you.
The Vasakhi is a special day for the Sikh community and for the for Indian society as a whole, because it's a seasonal festival. When the crop of wheat, which is the main crop of Punjabi people, becomes ripe and ready to harvest, the farmers are very happy, because the farmers have to depend upon nature and they have to believe in God. Otherwise, nature is not controlled by human being. So they worship God, they believe in God, all the time they are praying that our crops should be successful. So when they become very happy. Then it becomes a festival of the season. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, as I can just explain in a philosophical way, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who is the first master of Sikhism, who founded this religion, he brought a fetus, in other words, in his own Holy Spirit from God, the fetus of Khalsa, which we call the Sikhism. And that fetus was kept by Guru Nanak throughout his life, physical life. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji also brought a decision, and he had a plan about the creation of Khalsa. When you have decision, when you have plans, only one thing is left to complete it. That's to pay the price. To pay the price, there's a waiting period. I know that price was given by Guru Nanak throughout his life, because he left his family back and he traveled all over the world to give the message of humanity to all different kinds of the religious leaders. He talked to everyone. And he spoke with boldness and bravery. And he passed that concept, fetus, to his next successor. And he gave the food of, food of thoughts to that fetus, food of knowledge, of spirit, spiritual knowledge was given to that fetus of Khalsa, concept of Khalsa. So all the 10 gurus, all the other 9 gurus after Guru Nanak, they kept that fetus of Khalsa, the concept of Khalsa and the Holy Spirit. The 5th master, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he paid the price. Why he paid the price? It's very interesting. Because the Khalsa, the concept of Khalsa, we need a good environment to raise the fetus, or I can say the child in the womb of the mother. We need the good environment where it can get the freedom, it can get the good food. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji prepared a place which was really interesting, from where we got the divine messages. And that place is called Darbar Sahib, Harmandir Sahib, which in the other words in Western society it's called Golden Temple. And Golden Temple is a symbol of peace, dignity, equality, and also it is the place of feeling independence. How philosophically, if I just give you some examples, because the Golden Temple has 4 main gates. The concept of 4 main gates was that the people are welcomed in the Golden Temple from any corner of the world without any discrimination of their caste, their color, and their religion. Why it was different, unique? As you know that in India the caste system, only the Brahmins were having the right to worship God, to enter the temple, to do the services. They had full control. The untouchable people were never given permission to visit the Hindu temple. And still, in some of the temples in India still, everybody is asked, what is your caste? If you belong to low caste, you are not allowed. There was one point in India, but Guruji built such a temple in which nobody will ask you, what is your caste? What is your religion? From where you come from? Because Guruji said, in the court of God, he will never ask you, who are you? He will only accept your mind and soul, but not your body, even not your religion. Because your religious identity will be left in this world. You cannot take any identity of your religion when you die. The second point is, the Golden Temple was built in such an architectural way that the upper domes of the Golden Temple are just like a Muslim mosque. And the inside ceiling is just like a Hindu temple. So Guruji built this temple in such a way that the Hindus and the Muslims are the same. There's no discrimination. So Hindus and Muslims both could go to this temple. And the foundation stone of this Golden Temple was laid down by a Muslim saint, not by Guruji himself, even not by any Hindu person. Another idea is, mostly the Muslims, when they do prayer facing towards the west. Because to keep their unity and uniformity is good. But when you have any kind of superstition that only you can pray towards facing west, this superstition is not acceptable to God. So Guruji built the temple in such a way, when you go into the temple, you won't face to the east. You won't face to the west. It will be other way. That was the idea that Guru Arjan Dev, our 5th master, built this temple. And he installed The Guru Granth Sahib, which is our holy scriptures compiled by Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and that contains not only the scriptures of Gurujis themselves, it contains the hymns of other saints from the Hindu and the Muslim community. But from the Hindus, most of them were from the scheduled, from the untouchable caste, which were not acceptable to the Hindu society by the Brahminical system. But Guruji embraced them openly, and their scriptures were based upon the concept of one God, based upon humanity. They were also added in Guru Granth Sahib, which became the Guru Granth or the holy scriptures, not only for the Sikhs, not only for the Muslims, not only for the Hindus, but for the whole humanity. The humanity is represented. The Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Granth Sahib is not only my Guru, it is the knowledge for everybody. So that concept was the real charges against Guru Arjan Dev Ji. That he introduced an idea, which idea I can say the idea, divine idea of the modern society, that all people should have the freedom of worship. Everybody has the right to worship God. Nobody can impose his own idea upon other people. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji also said, Avval Allah Noor Upaya Kudrat Ke Sab Bande, in scriptures which the children were singing today. Those scriptures belong to a Muslim saint who belonged to an untouchable caste, whose name was Kabir Sahib. He said, Awwal Allah, Awwal means first. Allah means God. Muslims say Allah. And he used the word Allah. Awwal Allah Noor Upaya. He said, God is light. And from that light, every creature got the birth. Only first of all God created light. From that light, all of us were born. So that light is prevailing in each and every creature. So whom we should call a Muslim, whom we should call a Hindu? Because the light has no religion. So this idea is being preached by Guruji at the Golden Temple. So he opened the doors for everybody. This was good idea. Majority of the people, they actually appreciated and they followed him. But the prejudiced people, sometimes they think idea is good, but it does not fit to me. Then they start to feel jealous. Then they wanted to crush this movement. Even the ruler's regime was afraid of the unity of such people may become dangerous to the regime who was Mughal Empire, who were ruling the people by force. They might be thinking that it become dangerous one day for us. They wanted to stop it. They wanted to crush it. And the Brahmins and the Muslims, prejudiced leaders, they filed a complaint to the emperor, and the emperor, he issued the warrant of arrest of Guruji, and Guruji went himself. Even before he was arrested, he went himself to go to the place where he was caught. That finally he was tortured to death by sitting on the red hot plate, and he was boiled in water, and finally he was murdered. So that means the first price for the concept of Khalsa was paid by our fifth master in the shape of his human life. He gave his faith, but he gave his body, he gave his life, but he did not give his faith. Because at that time, the regime of Mughal Empire, they asked him to convert himself into Islam by force, which he rejected. He preferred to die rather than to be converted into different religion by force. And even as the Quran claims, even some of the Muslims, they claims that there was no compulsion in the religion. But at that time, regime was acting against the Quranic message, which are mostly Muslims, they claim. The Quran does not allow anybody should be converted into Islam by force, as they say. But it was done in the history, in the past history. The Muslims rulers, they did. I don't know, but it was also approved by the Muslim leaders at that time. They did not object. So, but Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he said, nobody has the right to force anybody to turn into different religion. So that's why Guru Arjan Dev Ji paid the price for the concept of Khalsa. So finally, a pregnant mother, she takes care of her baby for 9 months. The same thing, the concept of Khalsa in the shape of baby was kept in the spirit of Nanak, which was passed to his successors, and finally, 9th Guru, he gave his head. He also paid a bigger price. Because the Hindu community was in danger. The most cruel emperor in the history of India and the Mughal Empire was Aurangzeb. And he was the most cruel even for his own family. He killed his all brothers. Even he put his father Shah Jahan into prison. And even he did not give him anything to eat. He died of hunger. But in Islam, if you do not respect your parents, you will be kicked off from Islam. But Islam did not act at that time because they were scared. That Aurangzeb, he ordered in the whole country that everybody must become Muslim. I want only one religion to solve all the problems. The Hindus were crying. Those Hindus leaders, they came to our Guru, Brahmins, to help. So Guruji promised them. And when he promised that I will help you, then the emperor, he issued the warrant of arrest of Guru Tegh Bahadur. But Guruji went himself without being arrested. When he went to Delhi, he was put into prison, and after that, 1675, in the presence of millions of people, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was beheaded, and his body was to be cut into 4 pieces to hang in the 4 main gates of Delhi. But some of his followers who were with him at that time, they took his head and they took another part of the body. They were cremated at 2 places. The head was cremated 200 miles away from Delhi in Punjab, and the rest of the body was cremated in Delhi. And it was not open cremation, it was secretly done. So that means after Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was martyred or murdered by the Emperor of India, I can say 9 months were completed. Now it was the time to take birth. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji witnessed that birth. So Khalsa was created in 1699, which was conceived in the Holy Spirit of Guru Nanak. So when Khalsa was created, it was also a wonderful day when Guru Gobind Singh Ji called the meeting of the people all over India. And as the history tells, 80,000 people were gathered at that time when there was no means of transportation. It is a miracle how the 80,000 people got together in a so much dangerous time when every road was blocked by the government and nobody was allowed to go there. But it was amazing, 80,000 were there. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he demanded in a unique way, 1 head. I need 1 head. The people went there to enjoy. Let us go there and eat the langar and listen to the kirtan. But Guruji was not there. But on last day, 1699, in 30th of March, when Guruji appeared from the tent, he had a sword in his hand and that sword was red with blood. And what Guruji said, I need head. Everybody became silent, dead silent, scared. Guruji said, I need one hand. So I looked at in the history, one of his devotees, he stood up and offered his hand. And he said, Guruji, this head is not mine. This body is not mine. This mind is not mine. I have already surrendered you completely. But only when I surrendered, I promised it belongs to you, but I am sorry, I am very late to offer it. Take it. So Guruji took those 5 heads from 80,000 people. People were thinking that Guruji is going to kill all the people one by one. He has become so bad. He might have not good senses. So even some of them, they actually stopped to believe in Guru. But when the 5th head was taken, only a few people were left. So when Guruji came from that tent, people were surprised. They were dressed in a different dress, uniform, and they were all alive. When they came out, from those 80,000 people, now everybody was ready to give his hand, because they were thinking Guruji is not taking the hand, but they were believing like that. So after that, Guruji baptized them. The philosophy of baptism is also unique, or maybe you can say that the baptisms in Sikhism is really interesting. What Guruji did, he spread a blanket on the floor, wool blanket. The idea is my Khalsa will be giving warmth to the humanity like this blanket does. And this blanket will work to extinguish the fire when it is wrapped around the body. My Khalsa will also extinguish the fire of the burning people by wrapping their own ideas. Then after that, Guruji placed a stone grinder on that blanket. The idea of stone is that my concept of my Khalsa, the minds of the Khalsa, will be strong, will be hard like the stone. Foundation of Khalsa will be strong like a stone. Then he put an iron pot on that. And iron, the concept of iron is that my Khalsa will be stronger, will be harder like the iron. Nobody can bend it. Then he put the water in it. The concept of water, that minds of my Khalsa will be pure like water. Then he put the sugar crystals in it, puffed sugar, that the minds of the Khalsa will be sweet like sugar. And the crystals of sugars are not even but uneven, small, bigger. They were not in a round shape, different shapes. Guruji said, I am blending today the caste system into one solution. I am blending the whole community into one solution. And that one solution will be called Khalsa. And that when Guruji started to blend, he started to blend it with a two-edged sword. And two-edged sword is the symbol of saint soldier. My Khalsa will be saint. His heart, his mind will be saint mind. But his appearance will be a soldier appearance. My Khalsa will be a saint and soldier. So he stirred those sugar crystals into water. And he was uttering Gurbani at that time. By uttering Gurbani, after finishing it, doing prayer to God, he said, now nectar or Amrit is ready. Now everybody who wishes to take it, I will give him. The first of all, those 5 Sikhs who offered their heads to Guruji, they were baptized. During the baptism, what did he do? He gave some amrit to drink, and after drinking 5 times, asked him to say, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, which means this Khalsa belongs to Vaheguru and the victory will also belong to God. After uttering this mantra, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Guru Ji gave 5 times. Then Guru Ji said, look, now this tongue belongs to God. Don't abuse it. And your tongue is very important because God has given you only one. But you can use it in 2 ways. You talk with it, you taste with it. God has given you eyes. I sprinkle that nectar in your eyes. From today, your eyes belong to God. Don't abuse them. Because your eyes are very important to build your moral and character. It can be abused, but you have to care for now your eyes belongs to Guru. Your tongue belongs to Guru. It should act like Guruji's own mission. Then he poured the nectar or amrit on the top of the head. Because this top of the head is very important, because your brain is very important. Your thoughts are very important. After putting 5 times, Guruji said, today your brain belongs to God. You have to be very careful when you use it. So, but all the time, when we pour this amrit in our eyes and at the top of our head, we have to utter through the tongue again the same word, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, to purify, to remind us that I belong to God, Khalsa belong to God, and the victory will also belong to God. So therefore, mine is nothing. Nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to God. So this is the concept of Khalsa, and the Vasakhi day on 1699, as reported by the CID of the government, 20,000 people offered their heads and got themselves baptized. And Guruji gave an identity, because this kind of organization, responsible organization, must have a unique identity to feel themselves responsible. So Guruji gave us beautiful idea about that identity. In that identity, the first thing is 5 Ks, or we can say the 5 symbols. But I do not believe that these are the symbols. How I can say the hair are the symbol? Hair not the symbol. Everybody has the hair. Even everybody loves the hair, because Guru Gobind Singh Ji's message was universal. I did not see anybody, if I say, do you hate your hair? Nobody. Doesn't matter, you cut them, you keep them small. Nobody wants baldness. Nobody wants the baldness. We use so many oil, so many medicines, so many creams to keep your hair longer and longer and more beautiful. You do not want to lose your hair. So Guruji only told us not to cut hair from any part of your body, because God has given you with the other parts of your body, you keep them as they are. Without hair, you cannot even take the birth. Even the animals, they are born with hair. Even the vegetables are grown with the hair. Even if you see the coral, you can see the hair. And each hair is capable to produce a seed. So anyway, this is very amazing how the nature is working. So Guruji told us not to cut hair. The second thing he said, everybody needs comb. I think you have hair, you might have comb also, maybe in your wallet, maybe at your home. You need the comb to keep your hair clean. How I can say it is a symbol? It's not a symbol. You need them. So Guruji said, you need the wooden comb. Keep them all the time at the top of your head. You should not use the comb of the other person. It's also hygienic idea. So then Guruji also gave us this kara. Kara is also symbol of that I am the slave to Guru and I am slave to Nanak. I have to be careful when I am acting in this world that Guruji is watching me all the time. When I do any action in this world, it gives me a message, be careful, don't do this. So it also helps us if I give full respect to my Guru, my Kara will help me to do anything wrong in my life. So the fourth part is the Kashara, undershort, which is special type. And Kashara is also symbol of chastity. In other words, if I say that only the Sikhs are wearing Kara, I think today many people, they wear the bangles. Even I have seen the many people, they wear some kind of different chains of different metal. Even you have some kind of, you have watched, but there are so many people who are wearing different kind of bangles and different kind of chains. Even in the drugstores, they are being given prescription. If you wear this, you will save yourself, you will get a treatment, cure, all those things. Right? So metal wearing has become a fashion even in this world today. So Guruji introduced this metal, only the iron one, not the gold one, not the silver one, because nobody can afford. Everybody cannot afford those things. So Guruji only to similarity, one unity, he introduced Kara.